What was the significance of the Miao rebellions? There were a number of rebellions conducted by the Chinese Miao minority during the Ming and Qing dynasties. Here in this video, we will take a look at these events, the causes and outcomes. First, let me take a little time to explain who the Miao are. This is just a general description. If you would like me to make an in-depth video on this group of people, let me know in the comments and I will do so. In 2013 and 2014, while working in the city of Guiyang, the capital of Guizhou province, I was introduced to a number of people of Miao ancestry and even taken to a traditional Miao village to witness for myself their way of life. Miao is a word used in modern China to describe this category of ethnic groups that live primarily in southern China, as well as across parts of Southeast Asia. The Miao are the largest ethnic minority group in China without an autonomous region. The Miao live across southern China, largely in mountainous areas of Guizhou, Yunnan, Sichuan, Hubei, Hunan, Guangxi and Guangdong provinces, in addition to the island of Hainan. There are some subgroups of the Miao, most notably the Hmong people that migrated from China into Myanmar, Vietnam, Laos and Thailand. There are also large numbers of Hmong living in the USA, France and Australia. In addition to the Hmong, other subgroups of the Miao include the Hmu Xiong, also known as the Ko Xiong and Ahmao. With the exception of those in Hainan, they speak Hmonic languages, which is in itself a subfamily of the Hmong Mian languages, also known as Miao Yao. Looking at each of the Miao rebellions chronologically, we will begin in the Ming dynasty. Miao rebellions in the Ming dynasty. There were a number of rebellions across southern China conducted by indigenous people against the Ming dynasty during the 14th and 15th centuries. Eventually, the Ming government defeated the rebels through overwhelming numbers of soldiers conducted to eliminate the threat. Later, during the Qing dynasty, further Miao rebellions broke out. One of the earliest Miao revolts occurred in the 1370s when several thousand Uyghur Buddhist warriors, originally from the kingdom of Chocho in Turpan, were sent by the Hongwu Emperor to defeat the Miao rebels in Taoyuan County, Changde, Hunan. At that time, Hunan was part of Huguan province. The Uyghurs were all given titles and permitted to live in Changde. They were led by the Buddhist general Halabashi, who was given additional titles by the Hongwu Emperor and the surname Jian, descendants of which still live in Taoyuan County to this day. The minority of Halabashi's descendants mixed with Hui Muslims in Taoyuan, which explains why some members of the Jian family clan are now Muslim. On the 4th of May 1449, the Miao revolted once again, and the Ming government sent General Wang Ji to quell the uprising. The rebellion spread through Huguang and into Guizhou. Entire towns in Guizhou were ransacked by government soldiers in 1459 and 1460, and several captured residents were later sold into slavery. With further rebellions occurring in the 1460s, revolts spread further afield to Guangxi, Hunan, Jiangxi and Guangdong. Having regrouped and settled throughout southern China, a further revolt broke out on the Hunan-Guizhou border in 1466. On this occasion, the Ming soldiers, consisting of 1,000 cavalry archers and 30,000 soldiers, defeated the Miao. The commander of the Ming army, General Li Chen, fought against the indigenous tribes for decades during the 15th century and used brutal tactics to defeat the Miao, killing thousands of them in rebellions of 1467 and 1475. In the 16th century, the Ming government sent ethnic Chinese soldiers to settle in the tribal areas of the Hmong and other indigenous people of the southwest, and ultimately another period of unrest erupted. The Ming sent 2,000 soldiers to defeat the rebels, and over 40,000 people were slaughtered as the Hmong fought almost every year in an attempt to gain their independence. In an effort to contain the Hmong, the Ming government ordered the destruction of the Hmong Wall, which was around 3 meters high, with military outposts along its 160 kilometers in length. The Hmong in Guizhou used armor made of animal skins and mail of copper and iron. They used weapons such as shields, spears, knives, crossbows, and poison-tipped arrows. 2 Chinese generals defected to the Hmong, gave them flintlock rifles, cannons, and blunderbusses, in addition to instructing the rebels on how weapons could be made. Qing Dynasty Rebellions. Miao Rebellion 1735 to 1736. The Miao Rebellion of 1735 to 1736 was an uprising of autonomous people from southwest China. Since the Ming Dynasty, southwest China, in particular the provinces of Yunnan, Guizhou and Guangxi, had been under state control, although the authority in those areas was weak. However, when the Yongzhen Emperor of the Qing dynasty decided to strengthen his control over these areas and install Qing administrators to replace local semi-independent chieftains, problems erupted. Prince Ortai led several military campaigns into the area through systems of abuse and extortion to eventually quell the revolts. Rebellion. By 1735, misrule and extortion proved to be the breaking point, and local people rose up to fight this injustice. The uprising began in Taigong before moving into Lipeng and Guiyang. Local Qing administrators were unable to cope with the rebellion and first suggested a mutual agreement, but the Qianlong Emperor recalled his commanders and appointed Zhang Guangci, an experienced officer that had served under Prince Ortai, to quell the rebellion. The uprising was a vicious, bloody affair, with the last of the rebels fighting to the last man in New Dajing. Altogether, the Qing armies managed to destroy around 1,200 Miao forts and killed more than 18,000 rebels. Their campaign, conducted by Zhang, lasted from February through to November of 1736, and once completed, Zhang was appointed as a Governor-General of Guizhou. He started building roads, strengthened the garrisons, and opened mines, both to enhance imperial control as well as to improve the economy of the region. The revolt's suppression granted half a century of peace, although the deeper causes of the initial unrest remained unchanged, and tension remained just below the surface before it erupted again in 1795. Miao Rebellion 1795 to 1806. The Miao Rebellion of 1795 to 1806 was an anti-Qing uprising that took place in the provinces of Hunan and Guizhou during the reigns of the Qianlong Emperor and his successor, the Jiaqing Emperor. It was catalyzed by tensions between Han Chinese immigrants into the provinces and the local populations of Miao people. Bloodily suppressed, it served as the antecedent to a much larger Miao uprising of 1854 to 73. While the term Miao is widely used to identify the ethnic minority group, it was a term used by the Han Chinese to describe numerous indigenous mountain tribes living in Guizhou and its surrounding provinces of southwest China, and totaled somewhere between 40 and 60% of Guizhou province's population at that time. The uprising and its aftermath. The previous rebellion of 1736, having been suppressed by harsh measures, had resulted in the second half of the 18th century being a period of relative calm, and any minor incidents were not enough to challenge the authority of the national government. However, officials became unnerved by heterodox sects spreading their teachings, those being unaccepting and not conforming to orthodox standards or beliefs, and spreading their teaching methods among both Han and Miao Chinese. In 1795, the tensions reached boiling point, and the Miao, led by Shi Liudong and Shi Sanbao, rose up once again. The main area of fighting occurred in Hunan, although some disturbances also broke out in Guizhou. Banner armies Green Standard battalions, local militias and self-defense units were mobilized by the Qing government. The land owned by rebellious Miao was confiscated in an act of punishment, in addition to increasing state power. However, this action only created additional conflict because newly appointed landowners exploited their Miao tenants. On any pacified territories, forts and military colonies were set up with walls to separate Miao from Han Chinese. Despite these measures, it still took 11 years to finally quell the rebellion. The relocating of Green Standard soldiers from Hubei to Hunan in 1795 to deal with the Miao helped facilitate the White Lotus Rebellion due to diminished control in Hubei province. Military action was followed by a policy of forced assimilation with traditional dress forbidden and an ethnic segregation policy enforced. Despite this, the deep causes of unrest remained and the tension rose once again, and in 1854, the largest of the Miao rebellions erupted. Relative few of the Hunan Miao that were pacified in 1795 to 1806 participated in the rebellions of the 1850s. Miao Rebellion 1854 to 1873. The Miao Rebellion of 1854 to 1873 was also known as the Qian Rebellion and was an uprising of ethnic Miao and other groups in Guizhou province during the reign of the Qing dynasty. Despite it being named as a Miao Rebellion, historian Robert Jenks estimated that ethnic Miao made up less than half of the participants fighting for the rebels. Estimates claimed the total number of casualties to have possibly been as many as 4.9 million out of the Miao population of around 7 million, although it is impossible to gauge the accuracy of those figures. The rebellion stemmed from a variety of grievances, including long-standing ethnic tensions with the Han Chinese, poor levels of administration, increasing poverty, as well as growing competition for the best arable land. The eruption of the Taiping Rebellion led the Qing government to increase taxation while withdrawing soldiers from an already restive region, an act that enabled the rebellion to unfold, which in turn inspired ethnic minorities in Guizhou to rebel. The rebellion began in March 1854 and was led by Yang Yuanbao, a farmer from the Baiyu ethnic group in Dushan County, who led hundreds of people to revolt. By May of that year, the Qing army had brutally suppressed that uprising. This was followed the following year when in March 1855, Zhang Xiumei from Taigong led a rebellion of Miao, followed by others rebelling across a wider region. In May 1869, several groups of rebels won a battle against the Chu army at Huangpiao. The rebels, after capturing several towns, eventually attacked Guizhou's provincial capital of Guiyang, in which the province's governor Zhao Deguan was killed after being ambushed by the rebels. Aftermath. Once the Taiping Rebellion was quelled, the Qing government defeated the Miao rebel groups one by one. The aftermath of the rebellion left several areas of Guizhou province depopulated, with farmland becoming overgrown and towns destroyed. This led to several minority groups, including Miao Hmong, to migrate into Vietnam and Laos. That brings us to the end of this video, highlighting an era of Chinese history largely unreported in Western history that has contributed to shaping China today, particularly in the provinces of southwest China. If you've enjoyed watching and has shown you a little detail of life and events here in China, then your subscribing to my channel would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click on the link to the next video, and until the next time, goodbye for now.